we have to remember people like Larry Masato, who was of Japanese descent and was a very decorated soldier. We have to remember Kenny Newton, who's up at Valley View, who was a POW from World War II. And we have to remember guys like Lee Murch that are still around here with 2 Silver Stars. And the loss of Billy Sugg, Purple Heart. I mean, they're all around us, and we have to remember that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about coming up here. Obviously, I'm here doing the radio show from Glasgow. You know, I call Glasgow home. Family from here. Grew up here as a little kid, but really, you can walk into any VFW post in Montana today, and you're going to find heroes just like the men you just mentioned. And especially I know here in Glasgow, there's just some incredible men that are walking around, and you may not even know they're a veteran.
Yeah, I'd like to also mention Art Wildhelm. He's just been the backbone of this veterans, and it's been a really uplifting to have an organization so forward-thinking. I really appreciate guys like that.
Yeah. And you served in Vietnam, ordnance soldier, as I understand it. And a lot of people are kind of familiar with the term IED in this day and age, but really improvised explosive devices have been around for centuries. But especially it was something in Vietnam as well.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as sophisticated as it is now. Just a side note, we've kind of had a tough harvest with all this weather and everything, and somebody asked me, how was your year? I said, it was really good. Yeah. Well, what was the toughest year you ever had? I said, well, I don't think I've ever had a tough year. And I got to thinking, I said, well, maybe 1968. Well, what happened then? I said, well, they had monsoons there, but I haven't had a bad one since.
It puts it all into perspective
it does.
When you think you're having a tough year with a grain harvest here or there, which it has been a tough year. I mean, I remember, it's 15 below zero in Glasgow this morning, but it was freezing cold and back in May, and when people were trying to get stuff into the ground, and then you've been trying to get stuff out of the ground, usually it'd be done long before now.
Oh yeah, but you have to look around. A lot of people have a lot more problems than we have, and there's a lot of strife and a lot of poverty and things, but you look at other countries, and we are so grateful. We have it a lot better than almost 99.5% of the other countries, so we're still very fortunate, even though we have a tendency sometimes to dwell on the negative.
Yeah. Yep. You've seen good years and you've seen bad years, and that's just kind of how life goes.
And they've all been good, but then there's always next year.
That's right. You just got to, kind of like a long ruck march, you just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other, huh?
Well, the people that paved this way for us were always optimistic, and they had to dig their own wells, and we have faucets and electricity, so we're pretty fortunate, and a lot of freedom too.
You mentioned Kenny Newton. I was at the Fort Peck Summer Theater a few years ago, and we got a chance to talk with him live on the radio, and that was just such a great honor to be able to talk with a World War II POW like him. And same day that we talked with Lieutenant Colonel, Special Forces Lieutenant Colonel, who was the Alpha team leader for Aaron Hollyman, also a Glasgow, Montana kid who ended up becoming a Green Beret and gave his life for our country in Iraq. Yeah,
our community's full of veterans and people that support veterans. There was a time they didn't do that.
Well, and really, I think about even, those of us younger Iraq, Afghanistan veterans, and heck, I can go back 15 years ago or so when I first got to Iraq, and I was getting care packages from, the St. Marie Women's Club, the old Glasgow Air Force Base, and other veterans here in town, and they've been doing it since day one, since this war on terrorism started.
It's kind of neat. We still have a group of ladies that are doing it out of St. Marie, and it's not caring for veterans is not a lost art here in Glasgow.
Yeah. Well, and I know for us younger veterans especially, we have the Vietnam veterans like yourself to thank, who made sure that no veteran was going to be treated the way our Vietnam veterans were unfortunately treated in parts of this country.
And we still have Reed Caldwell, who served 2 terms in Vietnam, who's the flag man. We always have a good flag here, and he really takes care of that. He's just dependable people.
Yeah. Well, Don, anything else you want to tell folks across Montana?
Thank you for coming to Glasgow, and looking forward to hearing you up at the high school this morning at 10:30.
Well, thank you so much, and I don't think I'll be able to do it the justice it truly deserves, but we'll give it a shot anyway, I guess.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don. All right, thank you.
I'm getting kind of rusty.